I'm just going to jump right in and give you some background on me and my family. I have a 13-year-old brother named Seth with what most would call traditional autism. He has limited verbal ability, has meltdowns, stims a lot, but he has an above-average IQ, a sweet smile, a cute little laugh, and a wicked sense of humor that is sneaking out more often lately. I have a 9-year-old brother named Zane, hey Zane, who is here with me today, holding my card, that has high-functioning autism called Asperger's syndrome, and he is exceptionally verbal. Right, Zane? What? He has an above-average IQ and an imagination like you wouldn't believe. My mom always says he has an ability to not only think around corners, but to think around a block. Then there's little me. Oh, my name is Tim, and I am 11 years old. I'm wrapping up my first year in middle school, where I am in the Honors and PACE programs. In addition to school, which I love, I am also interested in cooking, baking, reading, karate, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Zane and I are up for our karate black belt test in June, and I have no doubt whatsoever that we will walk out wearing those belts. In addition to our karate, which we began just over 2 years ago, we started Jiu-Jitsu last summer, and we have competed 3 times now and medaled every time. It is challenging to move up the ranks in this sport, but I think Zane and I are close to our first belt promotion. Now on to my medical issue. While also neurologic, mine is distinctly different from the conditions of my brother's. When I was 6 years old, I was diagnosed with a bouncy ball-sized brain tumor right in the center of my head growing up from my brainstem. The pathology came back as a grade 2 astrocytoma with grade 3 characteristics. 2 brain surgeries, tons of ologists caring for me over the years, and countless follow-up MRIs later. Here I am today, less than 2 months away from a major milestone. On June 18th, I will be 5 years post-diagnosis. My surgeon cannot safely remove the entire tumor from my brainstem, so I will always have follow-up MRIs watching for any changes. But at 5 years post-diagnosis with no new growth, I can be considered to be in remission. I have lingering right-sided weakness similar to what a stroke patient might have. My growth velocity has slowed greatly, but seems to be starting to rebound slowly. I get fatigued sooner than some others my age. I have vision difficulty in my right eye, and I have a zigzag scar from ear to ear. With all this hair, you can't see the scar, though. My brother Zane and I are growing our hair long enough to be able to donate it to Locks of Love. So that's actually why we are so shaggy, as we are working towards the necessary 10 inches worth. Wow, Zane, you're crazy. My Uncle Daniel has lost his hair more than once before he passed away from his brain tumor in 2010. And my cousin Brooke, who turned 7 years old yesterday, has been battling non-stop since 2010, what is probably the ugliest form of childhood cancer. She is on, I think, her 7th hair loss now in her ongoing treatment, so it is in their honor that we are doing this. Okay, moving on. We learned about HopeKids by chance. My mom was lucky enough to obtain some donated tickets for us to go to a Frisco Rough Riders baseball game on Kids Night Out this past July. We were sitting in the back of our section with only one other family near us, and the mother in the row in front of us turned around to apologize to my mom for the loud sounds her son was making. My mom told her it wasn't necessary, and they struck up a conversation for most of the time we were there. The other mother asked my mom if we were part of HopeKids, which we had not heard of, and she told us about them and how to apply, which my mom did right then from her seat in the stadium on her smartphone. We have been blessed to attend many events now in the last 10 months around some very special families thanks to the chance encounter. The HopeKids organization premise is like any other is unlike any other organization we have come into contact with. People are familiar with charities raising funds and awareness for medical treatments and research geared towards specific disorders or broad groups like childhood cancer, and there is absolutely a need for that. Many kids move past the acute stage of their illness or diagnosis as a result of the funded research and treatments made available from the efforts of those sorts of charities. What people don't usually consider is what happens next when that child walks out after their initial hospitalization. Some are just a hair past critical and are thrust back out into the real world with their parents scrambling to get a handle on their new lives post-discharge. There's continued recovery and therapy that can go on for weeks, months, years, or in some cases, the rest of their lives. I'm sure everyone here has heard the expression that laughter is the best medicine. I would say that hope is an even better one. Think of a leukemia patient who has to have chemotherapy treatments for 2 to 3 years nonstop. That child thinks about and dreads those appointments. But then, wonder of wonders, a trip to the children's aquarium that happens after hours when typical families have all gone home appears on the family to-do calendar. Is it possible? Yes, that family thinks. Yes, this is something we can safely attend. We won't be around strangers with coughs and colds who venture out to also enjoy their day, so the health risk is much less to our Hope Kid. The possibility of getting bumped or tripped in the crowd of people, which is dangerous when platelets are dropping from the latest round of chemo, is virtually eliminated. Yes, we can go. Only 4 more days. Only 3 more days. Just 2. Tomorrow. Yay, it's aquarium days. That event is something a child can look forward to. Something that will keep their spirits up when their treatments are getting them down. Their siblings have something to look forward to also. They don't have to be protective of their Hope Kid sibling in public. They can relax and have fun too. The parents will see that excitement in all their kids' eyes. When they get to the aquarium, they have other parents who understand what their lives are like, who get them. There are new people to bond with, to talk to get practical advice from maybe, if they have just started on their medical journey. One simple little event, you think. One huge event, we think. While medical bills grow, while the Hope Kid is in active treatment, how likely is it that the family would even entertain the notion of a trip to a busy popular attraction just on their own? It wouldn't be very likely at all, Zane. Here comes HopeKids, who works with the event partners to magically make it all possible. And everyone has something special to look forward to. Hope. There's that all-important hope that sustains us, gives us motivation to get through a difficult day at the clinic, a tough day of unpleasant but necessary testing at the hospital. And then, can it be true? A trip to see a newly released movie before the theater opens to the public for the day? Really? What a wonderful way to start our day. Yes, we will be there. HopeKids tries to make as many diverse events available as often as possible so the families always have something to look forward to. Some are for events before or after normal business hours, which is especially great for the more immune and fragile children. Some are seats at a mainstream event along with the normal crowds where the more stable kids can enjoy themselves. Families have things available. Families have things available to them to choose from on a very regular basis depending on their interests and ability to safely attend. Maybe HopeKids Sally, for example, is on dialysis, and her brother John is a huge Texas Rangers fan. Well, John and his mom can go to the baseball game, even if little Sally needs to stay home and be cared for by Dad. Or maybe she feels well enough to go, but simply does not have an interest in baseball. That doesn't mean John has to miss out on something. The events are open to every member of the family, whether the HopeKids child attends or not, which is just fantastic. When one child is sick, it impacts the entire family. So knowing that the siblings can participate in activities too is amazing. With one single event, even the spirits of an entire family are lifted. Kids have something to look forward to. Families in similar circumstances are joined together. Financial concerns are not an issue for once. And many people, for the first time in their lives, get to do something they have always dreamed of but could not achieve on their own. The value of that is immeasurable. There is so much more I could have said about HopeKids, but I have taken up so much of your time already tonight, so I'll close for now. I just want to say thank you for listening, and an even bigger thank you for what you can do to help out such a wonderful organization as HopeKids. Have a great night.
Sam Scott and the family, very interesting, and congratulations. It is my pleasure